recent stream, you talked about how gouging fire is a great example of being a great design of a Pokemon, both competitively and just kind of in general. We're kind of curious, what other Pokemon do you think are good designs? What are something that you look for? Is it the stat spread, move access, abilities, typing, anything like that you think makes a good design for Pokemon?
What I will say about gouging fire is I definitely think like the name is very silly and it's just Entei with a hat. But I like it's dragon fire typing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
which is a good type combo, and it has like a pretty modest attack stat by Gen 9 standards and stuff like that. That's what I like about it mostly. As far as what a good Pokemon design is, I think it's a combination of like flavor, how well do they fit and function, and like do they function because they're brute forced into power by like having like something like Chien Power where it's just give it everything, give it every move, give it every advantage, it's got the best stab combo ever? Or is it something like, I think a great example of all design Pokemon is Mamoswine. I made a whole video about this, but Mamoswine not only visually and flavor wise is great, but the typing Ice Ground is like perfect stab coverage, but at the same time it's not so fast where it's going to like overwhelm everything in the world. And generally to get value out of Mamoswine in Gen 5 OU, which is the metagame I talked about it in, you have to maneuver it in intelligently. And it's one of the few ice types that can function defensively, which is rare. Most ice types are like glass cannons, they're like Weavile, where they're really great offensively, but they'll die to a slight breeze. But Mamoswine actually has some defensive backbone to it because it's got the ground electric immunity. It's immune to sand and hail, which are two relevant weather effects in Gen 5. And it has thick fat, which neutralizes its weakness to fire, which is really important. So you can actually switch Mamoswine into stuff. And I like that because having the ability to switch into stuff is what gives you offensive momentum with Mamoswine. It's not like you have to pivot it in or use it in the lead slot, or like if a Pokemon is more frail and they die easier, it's harder to, like the situations where you can maneuver them in and get value out of them are more limited, and therefore like the interactions that evolve from that Pokemon are not as interesting. But Mamoswine, the way you can use it, because of how it's designed, is basically if Mamoswine is in a Gen 5 OU game, it's going to make that game like exciting and interesting, and not in a way that feels annoying, or like Mamoswine is this really annoying presence that's
No, I love it. I think that's great. My first, I agree with you on the first note with gouging fire too, being one of the things that my biggest issue with both the Raging Bolt and gouging fire is that I kind of feel like they took more time with Walking Wake, and like they actually made Walking Wake's face like more like a raptor, whereas I felt like with gouging fire and Raging Bolt,
they do
literally
just look like Entei and Raikou, but like slightly edited. For sure.
Yeah.
But then gameplay wise, I feel like they are way more interesting than Walking Wake is.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Thunderclap is like a new mechanic. That's cool. And then I like gouging fire's fire protect thing. And all his options.
It automatically burns, right? It's kind of like Baneful Bunker, but with fire.